reeds and how to use them. So today I'm going to show you how to put your reed onto your mouthpiece, and therefore how we use a reed when we're playing a reed instrument. First things first, you're going to need your mouthpiece. On top of your mouthpiece, you are also going to need your ligature, and you're going to need a reed. So make sure you've got these three things. Now, first off, starting with your reed must be wet. This is a step that everyone seems to skimp on. They don't like the taste of the reed, or they just find it a little bit weird. Let me tell you why this is so important. Your reed must be wet. When it is wet, it creates a much better seal on your saxophone. Plus, you're also moistening the fibers so that you're allowing them to vibrate. If this reed doesn't vibrate, you're not going to get a sound, or a very nice sound, on your saxophone. So, put it in your mouth, skinny side or the tip first. You'll notice that there's like a polished side or a slightly curved side to your reed. You don't want that bit in your mouth. You want the skinny side into your mouth. So place it in your mouth. If you're really not keen on sucking your reed, then grab a cup of water and put it in tip side down. While your reed is absorbing moisture in a cup of water, or it's in your mouth, you will need to grab your mouthpiece and your ligature. Now your ligature needs to go onto your mouthpiece. It's only going to go on one way. If you put it on the wrong way, it's not going to go down in place and it's going to look a little bit funny. So make sure that your ligature is on the correct way. If it's getting stuck at some point, you may need to loosen the screws on the back of your ligature. So, ligature on your mouthpiece the correct way. The next step is to add your reed. Now your reed is going to slide down between the ligature and the mouthpiece, and we're going to secure it in place with the screws on the ligature. To do this, we need to make sure that there is a little bit of space between the mouthpiece and the ligature. So what I like to do is I like to put my left hand pointer on the back of the mouthpiece, and then I push it up a little bit. The rest of my fingers will wrap around the rest of the mouthpiece and hold it. Now by placing my finger on the back of the ligature, pushing it up and pushing it forward, is that I'm allowing a little bit of space here, that I'm enabling my reed to go down. Next, we want to grab our reed. Now you'll notice that there are two sides to your reed. You have a side which is polished and curved, and you have a flat side which has got the number, which is the strength, and the brand and some other information on it. Now we want to make sure that it is the polished curved side that is facing us or facing out from the mouthpiece, and it is the flat side which is going down along the mouthpiece. Now we don't want to be putting this in the hole, it needs to be sitting on top of the mouthpiece. So you've literally got your reed, you've got your mouthpiece, and you want that to be sitting on top, and we use our ligature to tie them together or hold them together. So point a finger on the back and then slide your reed down. So you'll notice now I have my ligature, which is very loose because I haven't tightened any screws. I have my reed, which has been slid down. It is sitting on top of the grooves on the mouthpiece, and the curved side or the shiny polished side is facing out. Now I need to line my reed up. Now to do this, I like to grab my right hand and I use my thumb, my pointer and my middle finger to place on each side of the reed. So my thumb goes on one side of the reed, my middle finger goes on the other, and my pointer goes on the top. Now by placing my three fingers in these places, I'm able to feel when the reed is or isn't in place. Now be really, really careful of the tip. The tip of the reed is really, really thin and really fragile. And if you chip it or break it, you will need to replace your reed. It might last for a little while, you might still be able to get a sound out of it for a little while, but if you're struggling to create a sound or you're squeaking incessantly, chances are the tip is probably buggered and you need a new reed. So just be careful. You probably will break a couple of reeds while doing this for the first couple of times, so don't stress. Make sure you've got a couple of backups. Now, thumb, middle finger, pointer, and then what I want to do is I want to be able to line those three bits up, pull the ligature down. Now as you pull the ligature down, you're probably going to disrupt the reed again. Double check your reed is in place, and then tighten the screws. Now with your reed, you will know if it's in place because when I look at it from the back side, there won't be too much reed up. There won't be too much reed to the left or to the right either. So it should be centered nicely on your mouthpiece. If it's too far down or too far up, too far to the left or too far to the right, then you're going to have problems making sounds on your instrument. So just check that it's lined up nicely. You can obviously also eye this and just sort of go, oh yes, no, is it right, is it not? But I find that using my 3 fingers as a guide helps me put it in place and in a better accurate place than without using my fingers. So give it a go, be really gentle, don't chip your reed, and if you do, it's not the end of the world, just make sure you've got a couple of backups as well.